There isn't a whole lot I can do in terms of the lighting in this room. Doesn't matter where you put the lights, it's always kind of dark here. And during the day, it's positioned away from the sun. So the room is always dark. And I don't like being in here, to be honest, because it's always gloomy, even if it's sunny outside or whatever. But that's why it's always dark when I do these live streams. It doesn't matter how I make the lights, nothing changes. Hey, immediately someone here. That's good. That is good. Thank you. Wow. Angel, Pangreedy, and Loyalty already here. Thank you. So I'm just going to wait a little bit before I start. More than anything, it's just really just an open discussion because it's been a long time since I did a live stream. So just talk about whatever you want, really. But in between all that, I want to talk about this show I've been watching called The Good Place. This show. So my friend Danny from Australia seems to think that's where we are. Is well, I'll get into it a bit later as to what that means. Let's just call it a sort of purgatory. I don't know how else to say it, but without giving too much away right now, just know that I'll spoil it a little bit if you do want to actually watch it. Yeah, you were getting worried about me. Why? Nah, there's no need to worry. I just um a lot on my mind, one thing to another, one chore to the next, always something, always one thing, always another thing seems to be kind of the common narrative, but no reason to worry or anything. Thanks though. Life reviews. um how is everyone doing though? Everything good? As good as it could get in this whatever you call this. I don't know what the hell this is anymore. I'm not I've at this point basically given up trying to figure out what it is. So oh, awesome. Well, I'm glad you're feeling wonderful. That is good to hear. I love the positivity. Oh, look who it is. I've actually haven't heard from you in a while, Mirage. What's up? Damn, I'm glad you're here too. This is awesome. This is awesome. Uh, a sort of purgatory loyalty. I don't know. Um, I don't know if it's a sort of purgatory. I shared a video recently, Archaic's YouTube channel, where he asked the Chat GPT, which, by the way, is significantly creepier than Replica. And this sort of like chat bot is now commonplace in basically every platform, every software that's now being used for all kinds of jobs and to narrate articles and all sorts of things. I'm sure you guys already know, but if you guys haven't seen that video, I recommend you check it out because it gives such incredible detail. He asked it some really unique and interesting questions, and it responded with details that are just incredible. He asked it, like, if we're in a simulation, like, what would the AI do to mask itself or prevent us from finding out that it's a simulation? And oh my God, the thing went into this like like story paragraph, like every detail of step by step of what it would do to ensure that we don't know that's where we are. And I'm like, what the hell? Um, you're moving out, hitting the road soon. We'll let you know if you're in your area. Please do. I will. When you're in my area, I'll show you all the good spots. I'll take you around. You'll love it here, so that would be great. Doing good. Wish winter was over, right? So I could go skateboarding and ride my scooter. Yeah, we had a winter here too, Loyalty. Actually, such a winter that like 2 dozen people died being stuck in the mountains. And I actually went to the mountains the other day, and I've never seen snow at such a low elevation before. Like just outside the city, there's already snow. Normally, you would have to go out 45 minutes or more to see even a semblance of snow. But we're at 1,000 feet elevation. We had snow all over the damn place. Blizzard warnings. We had people stuck literally like for days and days without any access to anything up in some mountain towns. Like people don't understand that California is so populated that there's actually some big ass towns even in the mountains, like Big Bear Lake and Lake Arrowhead. I mean, there's tens of thousands of people up there, and a lot of them got stuck. And I never seen this before, not like this. By records, the last time it snowed here, the coldest ever recorded in recent memory before this was like 1964 or something, when it got down to like 20 degrees here. So, but that was the previous world, so I can't really make judgments about that reality and what happened then as compared to here. Winter in California is a foreign concept. Well, yeah, I mean, by comparison to Montana, it's still a joke, of course. You know, with minus 50 or whatever you have over there, of course, it's still a joke. But I mean, it's not really a joke when people ended up dead. So it was pretty serious anyway. One wheel. Oh, yeah, that thing's so cool. I used to go to my friend's house on Lake Arrowhead when we were younger. Fun times. Yeah, it's a nice place, nice area. I love all the. My favorite one is Mount San Jacinto, though, and Idlewild. That's my favorite spot in the southern area here, which was totally snowed in, like feet and feet of snow. But anyway, um, so I had a dream last night. Um, another concert. So I don't know if you guys remember a few months, I don't know, maybe it was like 2 months ago, where I had a weird ass concert where I couldn't really make out what was going on. Like everything was so alien and strange to me. Remember, I was discussing people wearing bubbles and watching some bizarre jazz show or something. This had some similarities. Emergency blankets. Yeah. Except this was special in a way because I'm seeing another like massive concert, but the way that this concert began was with a pyramid opening. Okay, so there was like this mock pyramid or like this statue that was like in front of the stage, and I don't. It kind of looked like it was made out of wood, or it was just like a prop or something. But like the capstone on the pyramid opened up, and everything got really bright, and that's when the show started. And there was like nothing that you would think of as like a normal band playing. Again, kind of like that other dream. This was like orchestra of epic proportions. We're talking every type of instrument, every type of musician, every type of singer. It seems like half the freaking world was on that stage, and almost like they were all doing their own thing and playing their own thing, but somehow it all meshed together and worked. And instead of bubbles this time, there was like this massive glass transparent screen in front of the stage. So, from in the dream's perspective, I'm looking at the stage, but there came a moment where I saw myself from the perspective of being on the stage, and I noticed in between the two, there is a glass transparent structure of some kind that's separating the band from the audience. And so that was basically the whole thing, just the observation of that. Oh, you're going to sleep in bed, gonna slow my breathing and listen, might not chat after this. Sweet. Good night, man. Yesterday I watched an I Am Legend clip, made me think of Norfolk. I actually screenshotted it. And today a derailment on Norfolk. Yeah, Norfolk Southern had another derailment. There was also another derailment on top of that. So this one was in Ohio again, right? There was another one in Utah that happened as well today. So again, my opinion on that is sabotage. But in this staged Truman Show, I don't know. You wonder if that's Martin Garrix's concert. He tends to have pyramids and subliminal message in his concert. Who is? I do not know who Martin Garrix is, but because you said that, I definitely am going to check that out. And there have been other band like, like Madonna would use it, and there have been other artists that have used such kind of symbols. Even Pink Floyd to a degree. Crystal Prophecy is here. Thank you for coming. Near you. It was near. Oh, I guess you're not too far from Ohio. Because in my mind, you're like, wait, you're in Canada, but you're so far south. You're like basically in the US. How you doing, Crystal Prophecy? So I was just discussing this dream of a pyramid, a mock pyramid opening up in a concert, and so what? How do we interpret this dream? Is it like the opening act, the opening concert? Is the show about to begin? Is the show going to be that epic? Like, because there seemed to be like this emphasis on excessiveness or like over the top, just ridiculous amount of everything. Like, is it like a metaphor for the world that, when the capstone opens, there will be an excessive everything and everything over the top here, which to a degree one would argue may already be the case, but internally the show hasn't quite started yet, if the show ever will start, whatever the show is, but it hasn't quite started yet. You keep seeing different things pointing to some sort of event in a future thing that happening around the Hollywood sign. It's been in sinks. Oh, really? Huh. Like, what happening to it specifically? Blink of an eye, the simulation changes. Maybe, yeah. So before I start talking about the Good Place, has anyone seen that show? I'll wait a second here. No, so Angel, you're saying that you see the simulation change like frequently in the blink of an eye. Is that what you mean? for me, um, it seems like it's very organized. I don't know how to say it. Predictable, organized. There is a certain pattern to things, very staged, very step by step sort of process. Well, maybe one would say, well, that's just how you live your life, Dan. And I'm like, no, it's not just how I live my life. It's like almost like when I wake up, I know exactly how the day's going to be right there, the moment I wake up. I pretty much intuitively already know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. And yeah, one could chalk it up to, oh, well, that's just life. Everyone does the same shit every day, don't they? Just work, sleep. No, no, this is deeper than that. You got to look at it on a deeper level. I keep seeing different things pointing to some sort of. Oh, wait, I already read that. The show is called The Good Place. It's on Netflix. It has Ted Danson, and he plays a really awesome character, by the way. He's absolutely hilarious. The show is a comedy, okay, but it's actually a very deep comedy, a philosophical comedy that will make you think about stuff, about morality, about ethics, about what is the right thing to do, about people's behavior and why they behave that way. It really goes in really deep into a lot of things, but it's presented in a comical way. But in reflecting back on it, it's actually a really serious show, in my opinion. Pangridi said, "You don't know where we are, what's going on, but I've been feeling like the deal lately." You've seen The Good Place, so what do you think of that show? Tapping in a tarot, that helps me understand symbols. People have been wanting to read mine lately. I don't know if I should. It's not that I think it's evil or anything like that. No, I've always been reluctant to get into it. I mean, do I really want to know? Strange details about my own life. My own life is already strange enough as it is for tarot to make it stranger. So, but that's good, Angel. If you uncover something interesting, please let me know. It's some sort of false flag event. It's been really bizarre. Yeah, so basically the show is about the afterlife, and these group of people. So I'm warning everyone again that it's going to be spoiled a little bit, but just a little because there's so much to the show. And they arrive in this like office setting, and Ted Danson basically greets them and says that, hey, you've lived a really good life and you've done amazing things for the world. And because of that, you get to live in the good place. And the good place is this like very cookie cutter, dry, bland, perfect town, okay, with perfect streets and frozen yogurt shops everywhere for some reason. Whoa, forever conscious research. Oh my gosh, thank you for being here. This is a synchronicity. I was just thinking about you the other day. I'm not even kidding, and here you are. The synchronicities just keep coming and coming. And there you are. That's crazy. I was like, hey, I wonder how Forever Conscious is doing. That TV show tells you everything, my friend. Yeah, it's kind of a messed up show. I kind of feel bad for them, but It is reflective of our own lives, I think, to a certain degree, and let me explain how, but I need to describe the show first. So, yeah, so they arrive in this office and they think they're in this paradise city where everything's perfect, and they have this robot helper named Janet, and Janet is like the universal knowledge of everything. She is like the super duper AI. Anything anyone needs, Janet will help you with. And so strange things begin to happen when this one blonde lady arrives in the good place. She begins to manifest strange things in that reality. Like basically, her mind would manifest things that she was thinking and doing and saying, and they would really disrupt the good place. So the good place was turning into a bad place. And there is a bad place too, by the way. The bad place is hell, and they're in the good place. And so basically, the blonde lady starts to realize something is off because she remembers that that was not her life at all. She was described as this amazing, person who gave to charity and blah, blah, blah. But she remembers that her own life was just very average and just kind of an average person that makes a bunch of mistakes and that makes a bunch of errors and screws people over and this and that. And she's like, that's not who I am at all. So she begins to figure out like something is not right with this picture. And so she gets paired with her soulmate. By the way, everyone has a soulmate, but these soulmates are actually the antithesis of what a soulmate should be. They're the opposite of what those people like, which is really interesting. So good to see you. Not sure if you got my comments, but I'd love to have you in an interview. Oh yeah, absolutely. I months ago I wanted to go on your show. Yeah, a long ass time ago. But hey, what's the rush? Definitely. So Jane Doe, you say they believed in their own works. This is what the world wants us to believe, right? Right. If Christ is within, isn't it? R is like my ex. Like your ex, yeah. Well, so okay, so she begins to figure out like, okay, no, actually, I'm getting way ahead of myself. I'm sorry. So she thinks like she doesn't deserve to be in the good place because she's just a crappy old regular person. So she and her soulmate just so happens to be an ethics professor, tries to teach her how to be a good person and behave properly and do the right things. And over time, she begins to learn. But by this time, Ted Danson, who's like the leader of the good place, discovers that she's not supposed to be there, that there was actually a mistake made, that two people with the exact same name died at the exact same time and they got switched. So the blonde lady ended up in a good place, but her twin with the same name ended up in the bad place. So they're like, okay, we need to correct the error. But she's like, wait, I'm learning to be a good person. Just give me a chance here. Cool. Let's work on setting up a date. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just let me know. I'm mostly free in the evenings. I work till 4. I do have stuff I do in the evenings sometimes, but in general, best days would probably be like Tuesday or Friday evening, like for example, Monday evening maybe, or Sunday as well. Actually, what time zone? I'm in California, Pacific time zone. Okay, nothing wrong with doing good works, just that it doesn't save us, right? Yeah, yeah. As far as good works goes, the intention is really important in my opinion. So actually, it's revealed in that show too. There's this brunette lady, I forget her name, who was like this ultra philanthropist, and she gave like billions to charity, right? But it was later found out that her motives were selfish, like that she was not giving out of her heart, that she was actually trying to be better than her sister, because apparently her sister like made fun of her whole life or was like bullying her, or I don't know, something wasn't right. So it was a sort of revenge, in a weird way of doing a revenge against her by saying, hey, look, look how good I am and look how crappy you are, kind of thing. So her motives and her intentions weren't pure. And I think that's another really important aspect to it. But anyway, in the show, so this is when things get really complicated and just completely convoluted, and you would really have to watch it to understand more, because she gets tired of trying to convince Ted Danson to stay in the good place. So they discover there is an intermediate place. And in this intermediate place literally lives only one lady. And it's in like this dry, barren desert. And it's so stupid and silly. Like the show is kind of dumb and smart at the same time. I don't know. But they so she tries to live in the intermediate place, but over time she discovers that the good place and is not the good place at all, that the good place is the bad place. And that they're all being tricked, their memories wiped, and they start over. And by them, I mean there's only 4 characters, only 4. Everyone else in this town, this good place, they're all actors. They're all in on it. And everyone else is being tricked. So instead of their soulmate, they're actually being paired with a person that they know will psychologically torture each other. So, which is interesting how in our lives that many relationships seem to turn out that way. And I wonder why so few people would actually meet their soulmate in our current life. So it does seem like we're also deliberately paired, or that we seem to attract things that, I guess, depending on the argument, in some cases would help you grow as a person, yes. But in other instances, maybe they actually deflate you as a person, or minimize you, or actually regress you. So this is an interesting dynamic at play. But yeah, so they discover that. So as soon as they discover that it's the bad place, their memories are wiped, and they have different experiments going, right? But let me get to the comments real quick. You're breaking down the show so well. Oh, thanks. It's really hard to break down. I'm sure if you've seen at least several episodes, you know how complex it is. And especially when it comes to Janet, like the AI supercomputer thing, I'm not even going to try to explain what they do with her, because they have to kill her multiple times to reset everything. And it's just this bizarre, convoluted nonsense. Like I love Janet. Like her character is absolutely hilarious. She is. You guys gotta see Janet. That's all I gotta say. There's nobody like Janet. I've never seen an actress like that in my life, honestly. The NPC effect, yeah. I'm staying single and I'm gonna find a partner to cuddle once a week. All right. That's dope. My belief from studying the Holy Bible is that we are made to be in righteousness. In other words, saved from the curse of death by simply believing in Jesus Christ. Very convoluted TV show. I love and hate Janet. Yeah, I love and hate Janet too. She's annoying, but I love her. I know exactly what you mean. So what? Okay, can you explain, Jane Doe? What do you mean to be in righteousness? Because I've tried my entire life to be in righteousness, and I swear, the more I try, the worse I become, and the less righteous I become. And it's like the harder you try, the worse things are. I don't know how to explain it. It's really annoying and convoluted in its own right in this realm, um, where it does seem to be the case. The harder you try to be good, the worse you become. Like sometimes I swear that's what happens. I don't know how else to explain it. So, like, how would you be righteous? Because I can't even describe to you probably hundreds of times I asked Jesus for help in this, specifically Jesus begging for help. Like, how do I do this? What do I do? And it seems like things only get worse. I don't know. You dreamt about a huge earthquake, Светлана. Светлана, вы говорите по-русски, наверное, да? Потому что у вас фамилия Максимова. Это интересно. Солнечная вспышка. Это интересно. Sorry, I just went into Russian mode over there. Because there's a Russian lady. Sorry about that. So you had a sun explosion. Yeah, so kind of like iPad Go 2, I would guess. I think, well, that's the final act, is the exploding sun, right? So whenever that's going to happen, I have no idea. I've really given up at this point, and I really think it's very possible it might not even be until the 2040s or 2050s to where we actually see that final event. It could really be that far off. But in the grand scheme of things, like 20 or 30 years is not very long. But it will absolutely happen, in my opinion. I feel like we aren't supposed to mix with people native to this reality and work on ourselves, especially when the natives to this reality seem hell-bent on starting a gender war. Yeah, well, there's deeper things about the gender war as well. I think it's also part of a depopulation agenda. It's deliberately designed to distract and confuse people about their own nature and things like that. It's really, it goes deep. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm too tired for that subject. But yeah, you do have a point there. Walking the center path as best as possible is how I found better results, but that doesn't mean being a jerk, just looking out for oneself. Yeah, right. Should be a balance. Should be a balance. So interesting how we have a lot, kind of a variety of viewpoints tonight. You know, that's interesting. I like this mix right now. A very varied mix of people. I'm glad you're here, though. You're all welcome to be here. Just don't fight each other, please. There's no reason to. Let's, instead of fighting, let's work together and figure out what this crappy, weird, bizarre world is. But okay, regarding The Good Place, if that's where we ended up, since the Mandela effect, the biggest unanswered question is why? Because there are times when I wake up and feel like I am an experiment. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. I talk to many people and I have many friends that would wholeheartedly agree with me that this is the case. And as I stated previously, everything feels very staged, very predetermined, something that would occur in The Good Place. But then again, there are some contradictions here because of all the events happening in this place. One would hardly think that it's a good place, right? So, like in the actual show, the place is perfect, right? Until the blonde lady comes in. I don't even remember her character's name, by the way. she comes in and basically screws it all up. Which is an interesting dynamic to think about, because what if there is like this sort of outsider consciousness here that is creating that unbalance, or that sort of like forms of consciousness that should not be mixing together. I don't know how else to put it. It's an interesting thing to think about, because that's what happened. Like, but then again, it was all staged. Even that was staged. Even her manifesting those things that she was in the show, even that was all staged. So it was all just a charade, right? It's interesting, right? Yes, Svetlana. I agree. It's not the good place. This realm can never be pleased, but constantly banks on us believing in what is selling 24/7 from cradle to grave. No, you're absolutely right. It can't be pleased. You can never be good enough. It's never enough. It's always more, 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 and totally right. Too many NPCs, right? I mean, I don't know anymore. Like, I really don't. It's weird. Okay, let's go till 40 minutes, because I gotta do something pretty soon here and gotta get going. But Forever Conscious, right after the show, I'll write you I have a new email, and we can discuss, that coming on, and I would love to do a show with you, absolutely. And I'll write that over here, and actually, I'll just do it right now. You're gonna laugh at the name of this email, by the way. Okay. There we go. Mr. Not Boring 34. Okay. The NPC thing is very bothersome, but I feel it is much larger than any could imagine. Yeah, wow. I think you bring up a great point. It is connected to something, deeper and larger. And just explaining it away by, oh, it's just NPCs. No, there's something deeper to it, or something that goes back eons of time to, what is manifesting to what we think of as NPCs. I don't know. You guys already know my opinion on NPCs. I'm just going to stay neutral on it for now. But if it is something that's real, it is something that's deeper and goes back very, very far in time. I feel like very, very far into the past. For some reason, I feel like it's something very ancient and connected to something much bigger. You're absolutely right. I very much agree. Yeah, interesting. All right, guys. Any final thoughts? Well, I just want to say, I do recommend you check out the show, even though I did spoil it a bit. On December 23rd, he saw a planet 200 times bigger than the moon. Really? Wow. Where did you see that? But yeah, check out the show. And if you do, please let me know what you think. Give me your opinion on that. I would love to hear it. And maybe we could have a discussion together about it, or one by one, or whatever. You could always message me, anybody, you're always welcome to. So, having said that, yeah, you have a great night too, Pengreedy. Every time Halo runs on. Yeah, loyalty. Yeah, definitely get back to me on that, on what you think. And actually, since I shared my email loyalty, you can take that down too as well, or anybody could take this email down, by the way. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, have a good night, everyone.